Welcome to the PERFORMA POPcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all things pop culture. So it might be movies, it might be TV, it might be some band that you've never even heard of. I'm your host, Peter Surs, comedian slash podcaster slash lover of all things pop culture. And my guest today, I've known him. God, it's hard to put a timeline, but I feel like it's been at least 6 or 7 years. Like I met you pretty early on in my comedy. I've worked with this guy a bunch. He's a very funny guy. He's a comedian. He's now a best-selling author. He's got a new book out that you can get anywhere books are available, Amazon, all that good stuff, called The Art of Being Yay. He's going to tell us about that, and you can find him on Instagram, Aidan Park, right? You're just Aidan Park on Instagram and
it's
stuff,
Aidan
right?
Park Show. But
Aidan Park
whatever.
Show, that's right.
Yeah.
On Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok as well. He makes great TikToks, but you guys are going to love him. Put your hands together for my buddy Aidan Park. Hey, buddy.
Yay! Thanks, Peter. Woo woo!
Yeah. I was like,
6, 7 years. Seriously.
Yeah, it's been. I feel like the first time that you and I met was we did some shows down at the Comedy Palace in San Diego. I think was the first time.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. That was a long time. I mean, that was a while ago.
That's when Zach Miller was running it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
It had to be like, I'm just trying to do a timeline. It had to be like 5 or 6 years, somewhere around there.
2014.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I feel like.
Yeah.
You know. So how you been, man?
I've been good. You know.
You're
in LA.
You're like a guru now.
Am I a guru? You know what? Actually, I never told you this, but so I secretly have been studying like empowerment for like 15 years. I just didn't tell anybody. They didn't want people to be weird, to think I was weird. And actually, I was a master practitioner in this thing called neuro-linguistic programming. Neuro-linguistic programming. It's like how it's this concept that like language creates the world. So you listen really carefully to the way people are saying things, and you can figure out people's model of the world and adjust to get what you need. So I don't know if you noticed, but when we were running, my career is built on running shows at the Laugh Factory and the Improv and the Flappers, and I do this and I do that. Like you saw me, like I'm juggling a bunch of stuff. It's because of neuro-linguistic programming.
So would that be like like the Jedi mind trick for like normal people? Are you?
I mean, one could say that. I think it's a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful tool. I don't like to use it to manipulate, but you could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could kind of, if you're good at this, you could get people to do maybe things that, like, kind of like, because I've been watching. You know, we've been locked up for so long. I don't know about you. We've had a lot of time to watch things during the pandemic, and I fell down the rabbit hole of watching all the cult documentaries.
Yeah.
Like all like the NXIVM and the Scientology and I forget what the one that was in like up in Oregon. What was that one called? Wild. Oh my God, it's crazy. Anyway, but like a lot of those guys, they use certain verbiage and whatever to like trigger people's emotions or whatever, and then all of a sudden they follow them and they drink Kool-Aid and everyone's dead or whatever.
For sure. I think people, you know what? Here's the trick. People want to feel understood, and they want to feel like they're less alone. And so, Justin, talking to you, this is on video, right?
Yeah,
it's on video. So if I really wanted to connect with you, I would be like, hey man, like I watched that too. And you know, like when I saw Netflix, like when I would watch like I watched the Gilmore. It doesn't matter what I'm talking about. You see what I'm doing? I'm like mimicking what you did. And then I go, you know, and then when I watch Gilmore Girls, it makes me think like, you know, really warm feelings. Like, so I just mirrored you by doing this. You just did that. And I did this.
God, I'm annoying.
Mirroring you. And it creates a bond.
It's so terrible. I'm like, I look weird. We used to do that. It's something similar in at Groundlings. You've been to Groundlings, yes?
Yeah.
And like you would tell, like you would sit, I forget what the name of the game is called, but you sit there and you just tell your story. And then the next person goes up, but they have to pick up on whatever mannerisms that you're doing. And then that person, the next person watches that person. And so every person has their thing. And so by the time you get to the end of the line, you have this crazy person that's doing all these weird things with their head and with their mouth and saying, and it's like, it's this ridiculous thing, but it's true. We all do our little things. And that's interesting. Neuro-linguistic
programming.
Neuro-linguistic programming. We're going to look into this for sure.
Oh, it's so interesting. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
So you've been studying that for 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, are we allowed to talk about anything, or are we censored?
You can talk about anything as long as you're not going to confess to committing any crimes.
Well, I mean, I was a prostitute.
Oh, that's fair.
No one caught me.
Yeah, but it's legal. It's legal in some places, so whatever.
That's funny. I talk about that in my book. When I was like 19, I don't know if you know this.
No, I don't think I do.
I didn't tell anybody, but like because I didn't think it was relevant. But like when I was 19, I was actually I was an undocumented immigrant, and I was raised by like a single grandma in government housing in the projects, like on government food, and it was like senior government home I wasn't allowed to be at.
Oh,
and,
right.
I got HIV when I was 19 because I was a prostitute because I couldn't get a job, and I was like in a situation, and that was when someone kind of said, I want to help you. I'm going to send you to this empowerment workshop. You don't need to be documented to go there. I'll send you there. And I got into all these colleges, couldn't go. Right. And so I started studying that, and I was like, oh, so there's hope for me after all. And so I did a deep dive into that. And that's how I was able to build my career, by applying those tools to my life. Wow. So I'm a big fan, but I never tell anybody because I don't want anybody to think I'm weird or give me jobs because they feel bad for me or any of that sort. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of kept it hush hush, even to you.
I mean, that's like I feel like now, like in 2021, I'm like, I almost said 2001, and that's weird. In 2021, I feel like more people are coming forward and admitting things like that, and it's almost like, whereas maybe 10 years ago, you might be afraid to do it because of, you're afraid of what people are going to say. Whereas now people, like, being that vulnerable makes you, I feel like, even more empowered by having the courage to be like the perfect example I'm thinking of is, Halsey, Halsey, the singer. Okay. You know Halsey? No. Yes, you do, Aidan. Come on.
Who's Halsey? What does he sing?
She sings. She sings so many songs. She sings that song. I'm bad in love.
Okay.
I mean, she has so many hit songs. But she broke into the music business when she was like in her early 20s. But she admitted that while she was trying to make it, that she was just banging dudes and just staying at their houses so they could take care of her, so she could pursue her music career. And now she's like one of the biggest stars. And there's a lot of people like that admit stuff like I think it's great, man. Like,
well, I think it's the same thing with like, Cardi B or Halsey or what. We all want to make it.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to make it because I wanted to get my skills up to a point where I felt like I was good on my own merit. So like I can go head to head with someone who hasn't had any I don't want any handouts because I'm like, I've had difficulty. I want to be, you're funny. So I want to be able to follow you up. Do you see what I'm saying? And not rely on anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I get it. I get it.
I want to be on a lineup with you and be able to handle it. Right.
But you can. And likewise. What have you? Okay, I'll probably bounce all over the place. But what made you? Sure. How long did it take you to complete your book? Like, was that something you've been working on for like years, or was it just like an idea that you had like recently? You're like, I'm gonna write a book, and you just knocked it out, like.
So you knew him. My partner passed away.
Right.
And when he died,
it's been like what, 2 years ago?
It was June of 2018.
Okay, so a little bit.
So 2.5 years ago. And you saw us. We were like attached at the hip. You know. And we really were about each other. And when he passed away, I kind of hit that point where I was like, I'm so unhappy.
Right.
I'm so unhappy, nothing matters anymore. I don't care. I just need to get happier. I can't live like this. It's either do this or die. That's it. Those were my options. So then I went and started applying those empowerment tools for the emotional result of being happy, as opposed to, hey, I'm gonna get this show, I'm gonna produce, I'm gonna da-da-da-da-da. When I started doing that, people started noticing and they were like, what are you doing? And so then someone came along, this was like November, and was like, you're different, something's different about you, what are you doing? And I said, I'm focusing on joy and like happiness as my end goal because I was so unhappy. So I'm like trying to focus in that regard. And the woman was like, meet my friend, she's a book coach, you should write a book. She meets me and she goes, I'm giving you a scholarship, I love your story. So it just kind of landed in my lap.
Okay.
And a year later, I had a completed product.
Yeah.
So I was really, happy about that. But it came kind of as an accident, because I became really like into, it's the art of being yay, like how to be happy.
Right.
I wanted to call it the art of being gay, but like,
I figured there's like a play, like a pun, like a play on words.
Yeah. But the managers were like, what if we think we're trying to turn people homo? And I was like, I don't think that's even possible, but sure, whatever.
So it kind of just fell together then. Like, that's great. That's and then there's an audiobook, yes, too.
Yeah.
And are you the voice?
I am the voice, yes.
Okay,
and
good.
I even got Margaret Cho. She wrote the foreword, and so I got to do the voice for the thing, and I'm so excited. And
that's great.
It's juicy, I tell you. I do not skim the details. I talk about, there's like, I know I haven't caught up with you, but like after
I know.
Died, it was like rough going there, man.
I know. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, but like, I know, like, I didn't see you, but like, I just, I lost my mom, and that was like the hardest. And my dad passed away a couple months ago. But like, I just,
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, thank you. But it's just one of those things where like, when you lose someone that you love, it doesn't matter what anyone else says to you, like, it's not going to help it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anytime someone's like, I'm sorry, or like, if there's anything what
can you say?
Yeah, like exactly. What can you say? But like, I still, because I knew him, because I knew you, and I like you. Like, I felt the need to just say something, and I think what I said was like, I know there's nothing I could say, but like, I get it, or it was something along those lines.
Thank you for that.
I just left it at that because, like, you get bombarded, and it's just like, I mean, you're going through your thing, but then you're dealing with people, and it's like, so I understood what you were going, not completely, because I never lost a partner, but just dealing with loss. Like, I was like, I
appreciate that you reached out. That was very nice. And he did like you, and he liked your girlfriend too.
I know. I remember you guys loved the fact that she was like from a farm and stuff.
Farmer.
And it's just it's funny because I spent most of the summer on that farm doing watermelons myself.
Watermelon festival.
Well, it got canceled because of COVID. And the people,
not the watermelon festival.
Yeah. And what's sad, the little town that she's from is like, that's the sign as you enter the town from either side. Welcome to Rush Springs, home of the annual watermelon festival. And they had to cancel it because of the COVID. So it was like, Rush Springs, Oklahoma, town of
what's the population there?
1,200.
So right now you're sitting in a town of 1,200.
No, I'm in Oklahoma City. She's on the farm right now. Okay.
How close is it from Oklahoma City?
It's about an hour from here. So like, sometimes she'll just stay down there if they have like a lot of work or whatever. Like they're rounded
like
up.
Oklahoma City?
It's cool. Like, you never been?
No, I'm coming to visit. You come visit?
Dude, yeah. I mean, it's open right now, so it's more.
Oh, great! Yay!
It's like super open. The comedy clubs are open here.
Shut up! Really? Like max capacity?
No, not at max capacity. So all the clubs. Okay. So like, I've worked the clubs here. I've worked the clubs. Basically, it's actually kind of a good thing that I'm here right now, because all the clubs that are open are all kind of within a few hours drive. Like, I've been to Kansas, I've been to Arkansas, I've been to Texas, I've been to Arizona, Colorado, like everywhere I can kind of drive to from here, you know? But Oklahoma City, like, it's cool. It's got like, it's one of those you can feel like the history in it, like as far as like the downtown Oklahoma City, like a lot of older buildings, you know, kind of like I'm trying to think of a town that would be similar. I mean, kind of all the towns out here look the same. Like, I don't know, have you ever been to you've been to Boise, right?
Yeah.
Boise, Idaho, kind of like that, like these old Western towns that you kind of can just feel the history, but there's like, you know, there's cool restaurants. There's a little bit of diversity in the city, not so much outside of the city, but there's not a lot of diversity when you go outside of the city. But, you know, it's lots of good barbecue, a lot of actually a decent, like a larger gay community than you would think would be like in these parts. Yeah, like there's a couple clubs.
I want a guy. I'm gay. Everybody knows that, right? I already talked about my boyfriend. I want a guy who's like not in LA. LA guys are not. I do not like the guys here.
Yeah.
I don't do the whole.
Like West Hollywood.
I don't like that. Like, I just want to. I want a New Yorker. Actually, Michael was a New Yorker. I want a New Yorker. Like, hey,
well, I tell you, man. The one thing I will say is, people. It's different being here. I mean, I'm gonna go back to LA once everything's back to normal. But it's different being here, where like, let's say like if you met a guy in LA, for example, right? He might be trying to make it in the business, and maybe he blows you off because he thinks that you don't have enough followers or whatever. Like, it's happened, right? Like, not with you, but like people kind of think, or like, what can this person do for me or whatever? I think that I don't know. And whereas here, nobody's in the industry, so everybody's just like normal. You know what I mean? Like everybody, everybody doesn't want to be an influencer or sell their screenplay. Like, everyone just has jobs, and that has been and I love like the industry. Like, I've been in the industry for like 20 years almost. Like, so I'm not talking shit about anything, but you do get that LA where like you feel like some people at least are talking to you or being friendly with you because they know that you could get them on a show or that you could do this for them. Whereas here, like, people are nice to you just because they're nice. Like, they don't necessarily want anything from you.
No.
I feel that.
I like the industry. I just don't want to date industry. That's
all.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
I'm not a big, I don't know. Well, watch. I'm going to end up with somebody in the industry. That always happens. I want a watermelon farmer, okay?
Dude, if you came out to the watermelon farm, dude, they would shit. They would not know what hit them.
Why?
They would just be called. They've never met an Aidan Park.
They've never met a Asian.
They don't ever. I don't even think they've met an Asian. Period. And then
I want to come to the watermelon farm. That'd be so fun.
Dude, I have a couple ideas of how I want to do it, but I want to kind of like over the course, because I'm assuming at this point the pandemic won't be over for a few more months, at least like in LA terms, with everything's open and stuff. So what I want to do, I could talk about this because I'm trying to make it happen. Like every few weeks, bring out like a handful of comics and like to work on the farm, and we'll film it and shit. And then like
I would love that.
And no, but then at the end of the week, we do a few shows. Like there's enough places where we can drive to do one show and then another day do another show and just have it be like this culmination of like working on the farm and then doing comedy. I think it'd be so fun.
I'll bring Kate Quigley. Can you imagine me and Kate Quigley working on the fucking farm together? That would be.
Kate works out, dude. She's strong.
Well, I work out. Hello.
I know. But like I'm saying, like I think like if people saw her on social media, like obviously like she's very funny and talented, but like a lot of guys follow her because she's attractive, and they wouldn't think that she actually. But I know she works out, dude. She's strong. That would be fun. Yeah, I want to do that, and I think I can make it happen. But let me ask you something, man. What have you been watching over the pandemic? Like,
I'm such a dork. You guys are not gonna get any listeners from what I watch. Honestly, you know what I'm watching?
You'd be surprised.
My favorite TV show is The Amazing Race.
Okay, no, that's a very popular show.
All 29 seasons on Hulu.
No kidding.
I love that show. So my dream is to be on The Amazing Race.
I was gonna say, I feel like you want to be on that show.
I want to be on that show, except I can't swim or drive stick or run. So I need to like really get better at them. And I tend to get moody when I travel. But I mean, so like I'm a terrible, but I'm great TV, and I would make it just because I'm so competitive. Like, I know.
Have you never applied for this show?
No, I should, huh?
I mean,
I don't know. I'm scared.
They would. I feel like they would have to pick you. Like, they would have to. Like, who's gonna?
I would love to be on that, and I would be good. I would.
Yeah. If you're going through a bunch of audition tapes and then your tape pops up and you're just you, like how do they not book you? How many people are on the show? Like 20?
Yeah, there's like 10 groups of 2, 11 groups of 2.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Kate Quigley and I want to do it.
You guys should do it.
She's like, I don't really want to win, Aidan. I just want to go for the experience. I'm like, I'm not going on with you then. No.
You want to
going
win.
On for the fucking experience. I'm going on to fucking win. I'm a competitive motherfucker.
What's the prize? Yeah, it's fine.
It's $1 million, but it's not about the prize. It's about the title.
Okay.
Of The Amazing Racer.
Okay. And then that'll be like you can put that on your thing too. Best-selling author.
Yeah.
Winner of The Amazing Race.
Yeah. I want to. You want to go? You'd be a good cat. I make you do everything. I do. Go, Peter.
Does it involve not showering or that's Survivor, huh?
Oh, so you're not. You're one of those, huh? You're one of those.
Yes, I would not want to be out in the woods.
Oh, then I can't go on with you. What about your girlfriend, the watermelon farmer?
She gets dirty, dude. She gets dirty.
She can drive tractors, right?
She can drive fucking. Yeah, that's what she's been doing this whole week.
Stick?
Dude, yeah, that's all the tractors.
The stick.
Yeah. Both. She's very good with both sticks. Yeah, like she could operate like. I don't know how many gears they have because like there's like 3 different tractors they have, and she could operate all of them. Like,
so she's hot, so she can be eye candy.
Yeah. And
she's with the gay guy, so you wouldn't mind her going on with this with me.
I wouldn't
and
mind
I would
anyway.
Cry the whole time, basically. And be like, I farted. Amy, right?
Ashton.
Shit, I'm sorry.
That's okay. She can't run though. She's got bad knees.
Well, we'll train her.
Like she's an athlete, she's strong, like, and she could do fitness stuff, but she can run. It just bothers her after a while. So as long as
they had a little person on the show named Charla.
Charla or Charla?
Charla. It was Charla and Myrna. And Myrna was her skinny, whiny cousin, and Charla was like 4'3". And she had wheelies on. So whenever they had to run through
like shoes with the wheels?
Yeah. She would hold on to Myrna and then Myrna would run. So if he needs to do something like that, that's cool.
No, she can run. She's got bad knees. But yeah, dude, yeah, she would be good because she doesn't mind being dirty. Like,
is she
dude,
competitive? I need someone competitive.
Yeah. Oh, she was the state MVP in the state of Oklahoma for basketball. She played basketball.
Oh my God. Speaking of
Yeah.
watermelon, my favorite episode of The Amazing Race is the watermelon bash. Did you see that one?
I don't watch.
Okay. Dude, there is this challenge where they have to take a watermelon and then they have to slingshot it onto a target, right? Like a small watermelon. And this one episode, Claire of Brooke and Claire, episode 1, season 17. See, I'm obsessed. They pull it and they let the watermelon go, but it doesn't bounce forward. It bounces back on her face. And
oh no!
And it hits her head. So she gets a watermelon to her fucking head.
Dude, I took so many watermelons to the head this summer.
Among other things.
Yeah, those things hurt, dude.
Watermelons are delicious. Oh.
Like, okay, so like some of these melons will get up to like 40, 50 pounds, dude.
Yeah.
And so when you're grabbing them out of the ground, like we gotta throw them across to get to. We throw them into a truck, and like they're dirty because they're literally coming from the ground. So like sometimes they'll slip.
Break when you throw them?
You what?
When you don't they break?
You have to be very careful. Because is
there someone to catch the watermelon, or do they just?
No. Yeah. So there's usually like 2 or 3 people on the ground, and then 1 person in the truck, inside the truck. So the people on the ground pass the watermelons, and then the guy in the truck catches them and stacks them in the truck.
That sounds so fun. I want to throw a watermelon. That sounds fun. I love that shit.
That's what everybody says. And that's why I want to do this fucking thing where I bring a few comics out to do it this summer, because I think it'll be fucking hilarious. Because when you think about it, dude, like 110 degrees, and you're doing it for like, we were working like 11, 12-hour days for a while.
That's what you need to do. People have heat exhaustion from The Amazing Race.
Yeah.
So
oh, really?
It doesn't matter. Get over it.
Get
over it.
My girl will, like, if she's driving a track or if she's out in the field, she'll just go out like into the bushes and drop a deuce and just and bring her toilet paper and then just go back into the truck. Like she doesn't like that shit doesn't bother her.
I love it. I love her. I love her.
And I remember you guys liked her. Okay, so amazing. So
she liked us too.
Oh yeah, she loved you guys. Yeah, she was I think she was, she remembered your man as well, and so she was like, oh, like she's got a big heart. What so you watch all 29 seasons of The Amazing Race?
There's 32 seasons now, but 29 are on Hulu.
Oh, okay, I got you. What else? Anything else, or does that take up all of your time to watch? Is that the only thing you were able to watch? That's a lot of television.
I watched that's Amazing Race US.
But
I also ran out, and then I was like, I'll watch Amazing Race Canada. So I watched.
Oh, they have in other countries too?
Yeah, 7 seasons. And then there's 5 seasons of The Amazing Race Asia. So I watched all those.
Oh, great.
So really, I watched 41 seasons of The Amazing Race.
Oh my God, that's a lot. That's dedication.
It's so inspiring.
Yeah, is it?
And you learn so much about people. Okay, like I'm into psychology.
Yeah.
So you learn so much about people and the way they approach the game and the way they approach life and what makes winning attitudes and what makes losing attitudes and the difference between people who come from actually a privileged background versus someone who's had it harder.
Yeah.
Like there is a difference, and the people who come from a wealthy background actually have a very big advantage in their mindset in the game. And I think it's so interesting to watch how that unfolds.
You would think it'd be the opposite. You would think the people that had it harder would have the mindset because they had to go through more. But you're saying on this show that's not the case.
The attitude. So it's like this. It's like the people who. I think that's actually what is it called? A myth. People who have had it easier in their lives as it relates to sporting competitions like The Amazing Race, they tend to have this mindset of, oh, we can figure it out. Of course, we're gonna win. Let's go. Let's go. Of course, let's go. Let's go. We're gonna do this. So those people tend to have played hockey. They tend to have been even like the ditzy cheerleaders. Like they're like, oh, of course, we're here to win. Let's go. Like positive attitude, not a lot gets to them. The people who have been through a lot, like the coal miners or like you know, these Black women who were single mothers, like they get easily disrupted. So like they'll be like, they'll be like, oh, I knew that we couldn't do it, and then panic. Whereas the team, they're like, of course, this is part of it. Let's go. We're gonna get it. Like, so there's a difference.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like the rate at which they believe in themselves is different too. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is weird. I never would have guessed that.
But in life, yeah, in life too, actually, though, because in life, if you're used to losing, if you're used to having difficulties, well, that I faced that, right? Like, so like when I was 19, at first it was really rough because until I got acclimated to the empowerment, you know, mindset, you know, I was used to what? Getting into college and not being able to go, being a hooker and being HIV positive at 19 and being poor all my life. And going into a job and having a team mentality where I do what's best for the team, that's new to me. So it's not such an individualistic survival sport anymore. It's about something beyond survival, which is new. And to adjust to that kind of thinking is actually different.
Yeah.
The people who have to survive a lot, they're in survival mode often. And if you're in survival mode, you're not looking to win, you're looking to not lose. And that makes you lose.
That's true. And Michael Jordan.
I'm sorry, I overtalked that. It's my favorite topic.
No, Kobe Bryant says that too, or said that. God rest.
You listen to any empowerment stuff? Like
I listened to a couple people. Well, first of all, I love Gary Vee. I'm sure he's come up on this podcast. You know Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a very he's an entrepreneur, but he's got a great podcast where he basically encourages everybody to just go after whatever it is that they want to achieve.
I want to meet him.
I mean, I don't know him. He's great.
Oh, I thought he came on the podcast. Okay, great.
We would love to have Gary Vee on the podcast. But he like basically he's all about like people following their dreams and following their happiness. But like you can be very successful in those things if you put the work in. So it's kind of like he kind of sends two different messages, and he thinks that people should do jobs that like careers that they love, even if it means that they don't make a lot of money, because the happiness is not going to replace making a lot of money in like a job that you hate, you know, necessarily. That's one, like, but then he tells people like if you want to make it as a comedian, he'd be like, well, what are you doing? Are you have a podcast? Do you have YouTube videos? Are you posting on TikTok? Like he'll say all these things. So it's like, you got to put in work. You got to collaborate with people. Like he'll tell people how hard they have to work to be successful, but at the same time, telling people that they don't need to make a lot of money as long as they're doing what they love. It's really weird. It's like two different.
I have a thought about this actually, because I coach people now. I have an art of being yay point of view about success. Say you want to be a comedian, right? So say I was coaching a comedian who wants to be a comedian. So the goal is to figure out what it is within the comedy world makes you excited and provide something within that field that cannot be replicated by anybody else. Once you have that figured out, you're in. Because, okay, so say like for me, if I were to say, so right now, if I were a gay comedian, there's like 2,500 gay comedians, for example. But a gay comedian who can talk about his past life experiences in a way that brings in empowerment to help people, 2.
Right.
And that's what I'm into. So it's not about pursuing success as far as I want to be a comedian. Let's go for success. It's like, I want to be a comedian. What kind of voice do I want to have? And can this be replicated? Is it a unique voice? And let's work on this so that we create a product that cannot be replicated. And I'm enjoying doing it because that's what I'm inclinated toward. That's how I would coach people on that. Because then you don't run out of energy. You run out of energy because you're doing a bunch of bullshit that you don't want to do that you feel like you should be doing.
Right.
But if you're passionate, then you know, that's what I think. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's what I think, dude. Like, I think Jim Carrey said it too. Is like, you're gonna fail anyway, so why not fail doing what you love? And you're like, that's pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean that's it. But
yeah,
I think there's a lot of, I don't like the whole like, and I'm sure he has other things, but I really don't like the action oriented solution to life, because it's like, oh, something's not going your way, work harder. No, that's actually not great.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
That's what I think.
When's the last time you did comedy? Before pandemic?
Like live?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple outdoor shows here, so I did like 10 minutes outdoor shows.
Okay, so you performed during this then?
Yeah, outdoors, and then I did do Montana in August. I went up to Montana. Yeah,
that's
Kalispell, Montana.
Dude, I mean, I don't think you have to be embarrassed to. I felt like you were afraid to tell people that you performed inside. It's okay. I've done it too.
Well, I mean, it's very controversial now. People are.
I know. Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing, man. I have a job. My job is a comedian. I need to do my job, and so if I'm going to a place right now where they're socially distancing, right? So it's there's tables are spread out more than they would be. It's limited capacity. They're taking temperatures and everything. You got to wear your mask. Like, it's no less safe than going to Target, right? And if they want to go, and these people want to pay me so that those people can be entertained, like, I'm gonna go, man. Like, I don't feel bad about it. You know, because like I said, it's no less safe than going to Target or
it's
whatever.
No less safe than actually isolating when you're living alone. So I live alone.
Okay. So
for me to isolate now, it's been a year. So if I were to comply to everything that they're saying, for me to completely isolate from human contact for a year would be bad for my health.
Yes.
And so I'm taking calculated risks. I'm seeing 2 or 3 friends a week where I'm, like playing board games with them, or I like have them over or whatever.
Right.
But I feel it's super important to have human contact.
It is. People forget we're animals, actually. Like, we're actually biological creatures, and we evolved from what we, started as, but like, we're animals. Animals need each other, like, to function. Like, an animal in isolation, like, is usually a very sad or crazy animal. Like, that's the thing, right? So I've been working a little bit, so I see, and I'm also in a place that cares a little bit less than like LA where you are.
Right.
Everything's open here. Still. Dude, I'm telling, like, for right now, it's better because I've been back in LA. I've been back and forth. And when I go to LA, it makes me sad. I'm like, no, like, this is not LA, I miss this being open and this, and just like the buzz, and just because I'm from LA, like, I'm born and raised there. So like, but here in Oklahoma versus there, like, where here everything's open, and it's like, oh yeah, I can go to a dinner, or I can go to
without a mask. Without a mask, you could walk in anywhere.
No, you have to have a mask on. But they're
when you're sitting at a table for food, you don't need a mask.
Yes, I actually have a joke about this, but yeah, you have to wear a mask when you go into the restaurant. Once you sit down, you can take it off. But if you get back up, like if you go to the bathroom or something, or when you leave, you got to put your mask back on. So you're only allowed to take it off when you're at your table.
Okay.
And they encourage you, if like you're not eating, to leave your mask on.
What's the COVID rate? Is it any higher than LA, percentage wise?
No.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. They were like, I don't want to get into numbers, but like, because like I talked about this with so many people, and I haven't checked recently, but like, there was a point where like California had like quote unquote the most cases, right? Like, just in numbers though, like 35,000. I don't know what the number was, but 30,000, right? But what I was looking at, it was more per capita. Like, sure they have 35,000, but there's also, 30 million people there, right?
Right.
Whereas
Right.
here they might have had 2,000,
Yeah.
but there's not as many people. And so the percentage of the percentage is, so basically per capita, there was a point where like California was like 20 or something. Like that's good, one being the worst. So they were way down like 20, and Oklahoma was like 22 or 23. Like they weren't that far apart. There's
more the same pretty much.
Yeah,
but also
like they were.
LA is more impacted, I think. Like there's more people and
There's more people, period. So it's just all that's going to be multiplied. But I'm just like, yeah. I just want to be back in LA and see everybody and hug everybody, and
Yeah, I miss you.
I miss you, man. Like I just miss I mean, I love doing comedy. It's my favorite thing. But part of what is fun about doing comedy is like we do the shows and whatever, but it's just like hanging out backstage or hanging out like at the bar at the club, like just talking and just like bonding, laughing with each other. Like I miss that a lot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've gotten to work still, like I said, a little bit, but it's just not the same with like the LA scene, just like seeing everybody on a regular basis.
It's like you never know who you're gonna run into.
Exactly.
Like you show up and there's a lineup, and I'm like, oh, you're on the lineup, cool.
Yeah, right. What have you been working out during this, man?
I have. You know what I've been doing? 100 push-ups a day.
Okay.
And 50 sit-ups a day.
Okay.
But like it's not the same. You're a trainer.
Yeah.
Like I can be like okay shape with that, but I still got soft in some areas, like thighs or like there's like that, lats, like So like I'm a little soft, I think.
Damn it, it's okay.
Yeah.
I was just asking because I know places aren't open, so I'm just trying to figure out like what people are doing to even stay in shape, because you don't really have a lot of options.
What would you recommend?
Yeah, I would recommend. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could do even if you don't have any equipment. I was doing videos at the beginning of COVID, but like, you could do like squats, especially like for your legs. You could do like squats, lunges. You could do, a bunch of different variations of a squat, lunge. You could do step ups onto like a chair, or like Bulgarian split squats with a chair. Like there's all kinds of stuff you could do with no weight, just your body weight. You could slow it, and if you're like, when you're moving your body weight, obviously eventually you'll get used to it, and then there's things you can do to make it harder. Like you could just slow it down more and just increase the time that your muscles are under tension. And there's different ways you could do it to still make it hard, even with no equipment. So there's a lot of cool stuff on YouTube. Like there's a lot of people like posting like really cool fitness stuff that you don't need to do with like weight. You don't need anything, because a lot of people don't have exercise equipment at their house.
Yeah.
And it was hard to buy stuff. Like when the gyms closed down and I was locked in my apartment, I'm like, I was online trying to buy stuff, and like they sold out. Everyone had the same idea. You couldn't buy weights, and still like a lot of places don't have them. Because I'm still trying to buy, like I want to put my own home gym, but like I can't buy a complete set because all the stuff that I want is still not available. It's been almost a year.
Man, I can't wait for this to be over. It's going to be interesting.
I know. I just can't wait to. For me, what's the thing that you missed? Like the one thing that you're not getting right now that you can't wait to do after this?
Like I like a night out, like a restaurant, the movies. Like I just like
movies.
I love travel. I really love travel.
Yeah.
And so just the freedom of popping in anywhere I want and going anywhere I want. Pretty cool. Yeah, I really miss that. The adventure, the random adventure, not feeling so limited in my random adventures.
I like it. What do you have a favorite superhero?
Do I have a favorite superhero?
Yeah. I feel like you don't like superheroes.
I feel like I don't. Although, have you seen the cover of the book? It's like
yeah.
Superman.
Well, that's what I thought it was like a Superman reference.
It is a Superman reference.
So we'll say Superman. You're inspired.
Yeah, well, let's go with Superman.
Yeah, there's a new Superman show coming out on the CW.
Oh yeah, it's always the CW.
I love the CW. I would love, I mean, putting it out there, CW, I would love to be on a CW show.
You would be great CW.
I would be great. Yeah. First of all, because I know all their shows already. So like I don't have to do research. They're like, oh, you got an audition for this? I'm like, oh yeah, I know what's going on. What episode are we on? Yeah, I got it. I know what's going on. But
you'd be great at it. Mm-hmm.
They're coming out with a new Superman show, Superman and Lois, I believe is what it's called.
Oh, as opposed to Lois and Clark?
Yeah, I was like, that's so original.
Whatever, man.
I know, but it's coming out. Well, actually, by the time this airs, it will already be out. So I'm going to watch it because I fucking watch all the shows in the CW.
CW make good shows.
Yeah, I love them, dude. I know I'm not the target demographic, but I love fucking CW shows. I am serious. I watch all the shows I watch, I feel like are for girls that are like 13.
Like Supernatural. Oh, that was like 10 years ago, right?
Well, it just ended.
Supernatural just ended?
Yeah, like
I thought it got canceled like 10 years ago.
No, dude. This was season 17. They went 17 seasons.
With that tall guy?
2 guys.
With Rory's boyfriend from Gilmore Girls?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, exactly. He was what was his oh god. No, his name was Dean on Gilmore Girls.
Dean on Gilmore Girls, yeah.
He was Dean on Gilmore Girls, and then on the show, his brother's name on Supernatural, his name is Sam, and his brother's name is Dean, and you're like, oh, there's another Dean.
I would love to be on a show for that long. You know,
right?
Like you can make so much money.
Oh, dude, these guys are the guys. I don't know how much Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles made at the end, but like, think about it: 17 seasons, so that's a lot of money, and they probably got raises every year. Right?
Wait, no, 13, right, per year.
No, 22.
No way. Okay.
Yeah. And
per year.
And then you figure that show's syndicated too, right? It's been syndicated forever, so they're getting
tons of life. That's it.
Yeah, for life. Then they do like all those nerd cons and comic cons and whatever, and they do like those signed pictures or whatever, like for all day, and like make like $100,000 in like a weekend just by signing autographs or more.
And they're like, not so famous that they can't go anywhere they can go anywhere they want.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Like I want that level of fame. Like, dude, I don't really want to be like fucking crazy fame. I want to be like,
yeah,
that's cool.
Like Jared Padalecki, the guy from Supernatural. Now he's the star of the reboot of Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
He's Walker?
Yeah, he's Walker.
No way.
Yeah. I actually auditioned to be on the show because they shoot in Austin. And
my grandma loved.
Everyone loved that show.
Texas Ranger.
Yeah, everyone loved that show. Like that show is dope. But he lives in Austin because they shot that show in Austin, and now they're shooting Walker in Austin. Like he's like he could go anywhere. Yeah. He's been on a hit show for 17 years, and then Gilmore Girls before that, and he can go. Like you say, he could. Man. He's famous. He's famous, but he could still go anywhere. It's pretty cool.
Like I don't want to be George Clooney. I want to be like Jared Padalecki.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that level. Yeah. Not that I'm even close, but it's good to have aspiration.
You're close. We're close.
Oh, come on. Okay, all right. We're close.
We're close, man. We're always that's just the thing, dude. Like, you know how it is. I mean, you work hard, and I know I work hard. So like when we do get something that makes us like really hit, people are going to see it, and then because they didn't know who we were, like, oh, they came out of nowhere. But everybody that knows you knows, like, no, he was fucking working hard for me 20 years. I've been in the industry for almost 20 years. I went on my first audition in 1999. So when
you in O-Town or something?
I auditioned for O-Town. That's never been talked about on this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, you were like one of the people, like one of the top 10, right?
No. You saw me for like a second on like the first episode. I didn't.
You were like in the top 40 though. You got pretty far. Like you were one of the people.
I should have Aidan, but no.
Oh, you didn't? I thought you were like. I thought you made it past the first few cuts.
I made it past the first few cuts on American Idol, but never got to be on TV.
I made it past the stadium cut on American Idol.
Yeah. I made 2 cuts on American Idol, and then I got cut right before we were gonna get to be up maybe on TV. And I was
Paula and Randy. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, whatever. You know what sucks too? I don't even watch that show anymore, but like, you know, like how they put like the shitty people on that show?
Yeah,
like
they pass them
on purpose so that they can make them look stupid on TV, right?
Yeah.
But if you know somebody, like if somebody knows that you auditioned for American Idol and that you weren't even shitty enough to be that shitty person that was on there, like, well, how shitty must you be that they put that shitty person on TV and not you? Do you know what I mean? People think that. And I'm like, no.
A lot of really good singers. They want to make people look stupid.
But it's like they have to, like they can't, and they have to have, they're gonna have the really good people, but they have to have some of those shitty people. Otherwise, it doesn't make for the entertaining show.
Yeah. Man, I was excited about my year. The year I auditioned was the David Cook, David Archuleta.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my year.
Well, it's their loss, Aidan, because we're gonna do way better things than American Idol.
Right, that's right.
Aidan
is on a supernatural show for CW.
Yeah, exactly. Aidan is, already a top-selling, best-selling author. Who knows what else we're gonna see from him. Do me a favor, tell them where they can find you. Plug your social handles.
Yeah. So you can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook at Aidan Park Show, AIDAN Park Show. You can get my book, The Art of Being Yay, at theartofbeingyay.com. And actually, it's a blog about it's empowerment with a comedic twist. So there's a bunch of blogs in there about loneliness and relationships and how to heal yourself and all these different things. There's like 40 videos on there now. So you can really get lost on there. So come find me. Yahoo.
And then you said the book's available at the website and everything. And you do like speaking stuff now too, right? So they might see you at a workshop or seminar or something. Look out for him.
Yeah, I just got an award from the American Cancer Society.
Oh, thanks.
For doing a fundraiser for them. And then I work with the Special Olympics, and I'm creating a curriculum for them for mindfulness for their athletes. So I'm really excited about what's going on. So if you want to keep up, go to my website. You can actually join my newsletter. Every Friday, I send out a Friday Feel Better newsletter, which includes helpful tips for a happier life. So I hope that you will say hi to me.
Okay, do me a favor. When we hang up, send me the link to that.
Yep.
Text it to me so I could put it in the show notes for when we drop the podcast, so they could just click on it if they want to go there. Cool, man. Well, I miss you. I miss comedy, performing together and stuff. We'll get back to that.
We're gonna do it again. It's gonna be great.
Soon enough. I'm so proud of you, man. Working hard, inspiring people. I know, it's hard to get lost. We all got social media and lives and whatever, but it's like you see what everyone's doing, so you just kind of feel like you talk to them, and then you're like, oh shit, we actually haven't talked in a long ass fucking time, so
but you know what? I feel like this way with you. I feel like, I can not talk to you for a year and then just see you, and then we pick up right where we just last had it. So sure. I'm grateful. I was so happy to hear from you. Yeah, same, buddy. I'll tell Ashton you said hello. And guys, get his book. Thank you for joining. This has been the PERFORMA POPcast, and we'll see you guys next time.